My friends, hope everyone is having a great day. Should be a great day. If you are invested in AMC or GameStop, you should be very excited, in my opinion. Now, before we jump into the video, as always, if you haven't already, follow me on Twitter, Colin_Gladman. Easiest way to ask me questions, get updates, things of that nature. Also, too, guys, I just now was looking at this now that I'm sitting in front of my desktop. Normally, I do a lot of things off my phone. Just recently crossed over, looks like 15,143 followers. So it is becoming a little bit harder for me to try to talk to everybody and answer questions, but I just want you guys to know that I promise you I'm trying. I'm trying to talk to as many people as I can, help as many people as I can. So if I don't answer your question and you see me answer somebody else or anything like that, honestly, I do it basically through like when I click on the notifications and the mentions and everything like that. If one's right there and I can answer it right away, that's how I do it. I don't have any favorites or anything along those lines. Also, too, not a financial advisor. Nothing I say is financial advice. I'm here for entertainment and educational purposes only. At the end of the day, you need to do what's best for you and your portfolio because you are going to be the one who's stuck with it. So don't just blindly believe myself or any other dude on the internet. Do what's best for you. At the end of the day, if you're making the decision that you feel like is best for you and your family, in my opinion, it's one that you can live with. If you go against your gut and you listen to me or you listen to a Trey or anybody else and it turns out not the way that you want, then you're always gonna be upset. At the end of the day, it's on you. You push the buy or the sell button. But like I said, at the end of the day, do what's best for you and your family. So what a crazy week. We went from the crazy halt and the added strikes on the option chain to, nothing but from that day to today is nothing but despair and people super pissed off and everything like that. So we went from like ultimate euphoria on Monday and the opening on Tuesday to the ultimate despair. They're going to take us back to $14 now. I mean, it was just like, calm down. But now, immediately after hours today, GameStop comes out and announces they're doing a stock split and they're going to be doing dividends. It's just a really cool moment for anybody who's been in these plays as long as we have been. Full disclosure, I own a lot more AMC than I do GameStop, but I own both. That's why I tag both tickers and everything like that. So I really like to give the GME, Maxis, Elitist, however you want to look at it. I really like to give them a hard time, man. They're like the world's easiest bear to poke, and it's so funny how mad they get, in my opinion. So I can't help myself. I just have to poke them every now and then. Let's run through a couple of things that I posted on Twitter today. So in just a second, I'm going to kind of walk us through this chart and talk about what I'm seeing here. But basically, for the first time, we've got ourselves a solid technical setup on the chart. We've got ourselves a solid cycle setup. We've got ourselves a solid fundamental setup. We've got the utilization where we need it to be. We've got the cost to borrow. Full disclosure, man, GME's cost to borrow is way better than AMC's. But once again, I always believe these two stocks run in tandem. Even if you look at what happened in after hours today, it's crazy. The days to cover is looking solid. All of the indicators are telling us this bad boy is ready to run. We got weekly MACDs crossing, all that good stuff. And now we got the catalyst to go along with it, okay? Now, like I said, all we need is the price to go along with it. Also, too, like I said, in my opinion, they shook the option tree real hard yesterday and today to get rid of as many paper hands as they possibly could when the halts happened and everything like that. And I think 30 plus tomorrow is a real possibility. If GME is running super hard, I just can't imagine a world where AMC is not running hard with it. I think we're going to see lots of FOMO coming in. It's just it's back to a good, exciting time. But man, we have run the roller coaster. We have all been, mentally and emotionally challenged this week. And if you made it, hats off to you, my friends. Also, too, I tweeted out that sometimes Whoops. Yeah, there we go. So sometimes, dude, I really went on a tweet storm today. I'm really sorry if you got notifications on or anything like that, but just expect more of it. Right here, I am diamond handing my options right here. And so, man, it looks like with some real craziness tomorrow, this might be. But at the same time, this is the danger of diamond hands. So if you can learn from my mistake through this, I please hope you do. I always say anytime you get to that point where you're real happy in your screenshot and stuff, you should probably either trim or sell or something along those lines. And I didn't take my own advice in that moment because I really believed we were just going to keep rocking and rolling with the way it opened. Even after the halt, I was telling some of the other guys today that and it's on me, I didn't realize that they added all those extra strikes in. If I would have seen that they would have added all those extra strikes, honestly, I would have closed this out immediately, but I didn't. It is what it is. It's a very small portion of my portfolio. It was kind of my first time dipping my toes into the water of options, and so praying for a miracle tomorrow. Okay. Luckily, that's why I always say I buy a ton of shares. I got a ton of shares of AMC, and I don't have a ton of shares of GameStop. I only have 150 at GameStop. But with GameStop, it's, it's just, like I said, I'm not going to get into that right now. And just for me, AMC was more of the play for me. Okay. So I don't want to talk about too much of what GameStop is doing because I'm already seeing a bunch of people arguing on what the stock split might look like and the dividend and things of that nature. So until we get some more information, I try to keep it as real as I possibly can on my channel. So I don't want to dive into too much of that because I don't want to potentially spread any type of misinformation. So I want to get more information first before I jump into that. But essentially, a stock split is great for a company. Go look at what happens with Tesla every time they've done it. They rocket ship. And then obviously too, a dividend, shares are probably going to have to be accounted for in that particular situation. But once again, I want to get more information before we go too far down that road. So let's jump into the chart. So this is what really kind of caught my eye right here. Okay. If you've watched Rico and some of the other guys putting information out, a lot of them believe that they are further along. I said in my cycle chart, I put out a cycle video on Saturday, I believe, and honestly that's still on the table because we haven't broken through the range, which we'll get into in that in just a second. But I was really trying to figure out, and once again, when you look at it, so both these charts are going to be on the 30 minutes and they're including both pre-market and after hours, okay? So if we get in here and we look, I always say on my cycles / fractal videos is, can I recreate the pattern or the cycle that goes along with it? The level and the time that they play out is not, and when I say level, I mean price-wise, but if we're looking at, are we hitting some consistent fibs to go along with it? Are they accumulating or distributing in the same way? That's what I'm going to be looking for. So I pulled it up on the 30-minute time frame, okay? And I kind of went from right here, which are low, right here, this kind of spring. And this kind of spring right here, okay? So from the all-time low that happened on January 5th to our all-time low post-June run-up that happened on March 14th of the $12.90, that's where I was kind of running it from. So what I did originally, and I see how people say that, is they think we're way further along. They think we're like up in here, okay? And obviously we could be. I 100% could be wrong. But if you look at this, man, it's really convincing to me. Also, it would make sense with the Hycroft earnings being pushed back to next week, which, by the way, I thought Diane did a great job on that. Go watch that interview. She also talked about how she likes dividends. So there may be something a brewing there. But if we look at this once again, kind of going apples to apples, so same time frame, same area, talking about a January style move, then if you look, essentially, the way I would be looking at it as, so I basically went with the information that I know right here. So on the right chart over here is going to be where we're at, and I drew a fib from the bottom, okay, at that $12.90 to the top right up here at $34.30, okay? And then I noticed that it came down here and it touched the 382. Another guy that I recommend you watching is Trading Sciences with Andrew. He's a big Elliott wave theory guy, and he was talking about how essentially this is a big wave 1. We'll get a pullback on wave 2, and then we'll get wave 3. And wave 3 is typically your biggest, most explosive move. And when you Google or look up Elliott wave theory, the most common retraces for wave 2, the corrective wave, is going to be the 382 or the 618. So obviously we came down here and we touched the 382 pretty much perfectly today. That's going to be at that $23.60 level. We actually broke below it for just a second, but then rebound nicely. And now obviously due to after hours movement, we're way above that up here in this, kind of 26 range. So I was trying to go, okay, where can I create this from? Obviously, I know where we're at right now. So where can I recreate this from back on a January style move? And to me, this is by far and away what checks out the most. So when I went from the bottom of that $1.92 to the top of the $3.50 move, you can see that we came down here and we briefly broke below and hung out around the 382 before making a much bigger move up past that. And that bigger move up past this one, I'll bring it all down a little bit here. So this is where we came up here and we traded. Then we had, the big breakup right here, okay? So if we pushed up, and this is also going faster. So sorry guys, it's been a long week with a little sleep. So if I jump around all over the place, I apologize. But let's look at the time real quick. So from here to where we are on the EMAs, which I'll talk about in just a second, that was essentially 17 days, okay, give or take. So over here, from the bottom to kind of where it looks the similar spot from a EMA standpoint is, wow, really? Hold on one second. So from the bottom to right where we were at close today was 17 days and 4 hours. From the bottom to where I think we were at today, as far as the EMA close, holy Toledo, I'm screenshotting this. It's the exact same time. That's gonna get posted on Twitter here in just a second. But it's the same, 17 days and 4 hours. It's literally the same. That's cool. Sorry. So, if that's the case right here, and we're starting to make this move up, that means tomorrow, potentially... Alright, let me get rid of that now. Sorry guys, this is what happens when you don't play in your videos. Again, I'm just trying to make sure I get everything from a timing standpoint correctly. So once again, this is if. So if we come up here to the same peak again, obviously that's that 34. And as you can see right here, it broke above a little bit. So that would be getting above 34 just a little bit. But we have enough time, because this one entered the end of the day, in the after hours, and then you had the big gap up, Okay, so if this happens during normal trading hours, you're not going to have that gap up. So basically what I would be looking for is, and depending on pre-market, what happens, all that kind of stuff, would be, really starting to push up here. And then we would get caught up for just a second. And then start pushing up right around in here or so. Let me be a little bit more exact than that. So this move from the base of the break to the top be an 83% move. Wow. So base. Look at that. Almost perfect. Need to go a little bit further. So that would take us up to if we can complete this move tomorrow, that would take us up somewhere around like the 41, 42 range. Okay. So that would probably be like my most, bullish case scenario. And as you can see, if you go over here and you look at the volume, this push happened in, a little bit better volume, but nothing crazy, nothing like, obviously on January 27th. But so definitely, if I've said it once, I've said it a million times. Some people are going to be like, he's going to say volume is king again. And guess what? I'm going to say volume is king again. So if we get the big volume, especially if GameStop is ripping and roaring or anything like that, I think anywhere tomorrow from, definitely over 30, but, 34 all the way up to 42 if things get really, wild and crazy. I absolutely think is a possibility. Wow. Cool. Once again, I'm super excited, as you can see, but I'm also going to be very cautious at the same time. If you are playing options, you have to be careful, and I am talking to myself just as much as I am anybody else right now. So don't let your green trades go red, especially if but if we start pushing up, to those 40s or anything along those lines, I'm gonna be exercising those options and everything like that. Man, we coming for them. All right, so that would be bullish. Now let's go in here. I'm going to go to my chart that I usually use. So here would be bearish. Okay, so we are struggling up here in this range that I've talked about quite often. Obviously, we got kicked back down, but we could push back up. Pushing back up makes, I really would be surprised for us not to have a pretty good day tomorrow. Even if that doesn't mean we get back to the 30s or anything like that, at least a push back up to this overall bear trend right here. Let me get rid of that. So we've got this big bear trend line that's just, so we broke out of my original one, just like I said we would. Now the one from the all-time high to all of our absolute peaks or anything like that, we did push past it. Then the halt happened. We got, dropped down. And once again, that halt was a bunch of BS, but at the same time, I'm going to go to the daily here. But it is what it is, okay? So we just got to be ready for stuff like that. We knew this was coming. We knew stuff like this would be coming, all right? We knew they would be trying to cheat us in broad daylight, and so chill, okay? You just got to stay calm in those moments. I mean, at the end of the day, they ain't going to make it. So pushing back up here to get above that tomorrow would be right around that $30 range, okay? So if we hit that, and man, we push through some volume, or a pre-market is just bananas, and we, it's definitely a possibility. We went up to, I think we finished at 26 something. Let me look real quick. So yeah. What? I thought we were over 26. Looks like we came down just a little bit more than that. Yeah. So I'm showing, we're up 4.5% in after hours at 25.73. So if we are further along and tomorrow is the big run, gap up, push, anything like that, keep an eye on pre-market and pre-market volume. That could be a big part. If we're where, personally, I think we are, a push up here, and that would put us at our new sign of strength. So look at that, my friends. That would be awesome. So right up in here, we'd be looking at, I've talked multiple times about, we need a new sign of strength, and then we would trade around there for just a little bit before we actually were ready for the markup. So, man, there's a lot of good, exciting things that can happen. From a bearish standpoint, let's talk about that. So if things just don't look great, we've got that 382 at $23.63, and this is coming from our low of 1290 up to our high. So the 382 of that 23.63, we've got the 0.5 at 21. I know a lot of people are talking about this gap down here at 20. If the only reason I'm saying we don't have to fill this gap is if, once again, you go back here to this January run, there's lots of gaps that haven't been filled down here. If we are doing a January run, it would make sense to leave gaps, okay? So I'm not, when there's gaps, but the volume's not great, I'm just like, okay, let's just go fill the freaking thing. If there's big explosive volume, catalyst, anything like that coming out, then I'm not near as worried about the gaps. And once again, with what happened with GME, I would be surprised if AMC isn't running hard with it. I think GME could see the bigger moves, percentage-wise and everything like that. But I mean, there's too many similarities with these two stocks to be ignored as far as I'm concerned. But I also live in reality. Not one true MOAS. So yeah, I mean, I just, downside could definitely happen, if they come out and do some screwy manipulative stuff. But overall, I'm really thinking, upside. I think pushing up towards 30, really might be about as bad as it gets. I really do, especially if tomorrow morning, if people start buying up calls and FOMO happens and everything like that. I mean, everybody's already really excited. So I really think we would see upside. So, I mean, obviously, most bearish case scenario would be coming down and filling the gap, but I just don't see that happening. I really don't. I would be surprised if that happens. If we go here, from this big breakout candle right here, on our day that had the most volume, we'd be looking at, this makes a lot of sense right here. You can see, going to a little bit shorter time frame, this makes a lot of sense right here that we, kind of use the golden pocket, almost came down to the 786. If we go down here from the start, yeah, I mean, just like I said, if you're new to my channel, you're going to hear this a lot. Don't listen to the TA don't work people, okay? Look at this. The golden pocket offering support, the 0.5 acting as resistance. So now where we're at, pre-market or pre-market, post-market would be above, the 0.5, looking to push back up over the 382. So I'm ready. Sorry this is a longer video. I'll keep it short right there. But that is going to be what I'm going to be looking for. I am looking for the next push up that could lead to the next leg up. And I mean, it's just this drop right here. Look at this, guys. This is the volume is dropping with the price. That is a bullish indication of reversal. If the volume was picking up as we were selling off, I would be more nervous. But overall, very bullish going into tomorrow. But at the end of the day, once again, TA is not a crystal ball. TA is, giving you the most likely and probable outcomes. But you can see how much we've struggled with this trend. So getting over that, pretty much around that 30 range, with some volume would be a real solid victory for tomorrow. Stay calm. Be kind. If it gets ugly and manipulative and everything like that, I'm totally okay with bitching, but don't turn into a keyboard warrior and take your frustrations out on people who are trying to help. Like I posted on Twitter, this community, if you will, has a real bad habit of being, super toxic and running a lot of really good people off, just being keyboard warriors and telling them they suck and all this other kind of stuff. Just don't be that person, man. All right? Once again, I'll go after trolls, but I don't go after anybody till they come at me first. So you won't see me going after other people on the internet. But if you come at me, baby, let's go. Y'all be good. I'll see you at 3 a.m. my time, whatever pre-market time is for you. And let's hope we're riding. I'll see you soon.